Hello, I'm Carsten. I'm doing ant research in this project. I'm studying ants actually in Borneo for 15 years, mainly northern Borneo, and this is the first time I study ants here in central Kalimantan. Yeah, we are in the tropical rainforest, and these tropical rainforests are known for their biodiversity. They actually harbor the majority of the terrestrial biodiversity, and this biodiversity is actually related to the insects in this forest, as you might be able to hear all around us. There are many cicadas in the background. But there's one group of insects that is actually dominating this ecosystem. It's found everywhere. These are ants. There are probably 1,500 ant species in Borneo. That's 10 times more than found in Central Europe. And although the exact number of these ant species is not known, because many of them are still not known, taxonomically not described yet. And many species, at least 5 to 10, are described every year new to science. Why are there these many species of ants? Actually, there are many different habitats in these rainforests. We have the canopy, where it's very dry and hot, where the ants then live in epiphytes or they live in tree hollows. Then we have the lower vegetation, where they construct their nests with plant material on silk underneath the leaves. And we have the leaf litter layer down here, which is very humid and where there is a lot of rotting wood where ants construct their nests. Then there is even another group which is entirely living underground for the majority of their life. Most of the ant species are very, very small, although there is one very obvious one, which is the giant forest ant, Camponotus gigas, and there is just a nest behind me, and I just try to grab one of these. Okay. Maybe you can see that this is actually a very large ant compared to the ants at home in Europe. If you think about ants, you should not think about the individual ants, but you should think about the colony. And this is something like all the cells in your body, so the individuals form one kind of organism, the colony. In case of this colony, Camponotus gigas, the giant ant, we estimate that it's probably an organism that has a body weight of 2 to 5 kilos, which is pretty much for rainforests. Some of these ants are actually predatory, so you could think of a small predatory animal that actually has a kind of a territory. Other ants are related to the vegetation. They keep their homopteran insects and harvest their honeydew. So that's similar as keeping cows on a pasture. I'm here to actually look at the ants that are dwelling in the ground in the leaf litter. And what I do is simply sifting through the leaf litter, and then I'm extracting ants, and that's what I'm going to do now. Groundbreaking science. Okay, this was 1 square meter. In total, I collected 60 square meters of leaf litter here. And we'll look at the ants and try to identify them. So what is my research about? I try actually to get some information about the distribution of ant species in Borneo, compare them to the ant communities that I studied in northern Borneo. The community composition of these ant species and the distribution patterns, and also information about endemic species, could be used actually to assess the quality of a rainforest. This information then can be used in conservation management, for example. And we hope that maybe the Heart of Borneo initiative that plans to protect the biodiversity in central Borneo is making use of this information and the information that we collect here. Because if you are interested in conserving biodiversity, you should also look at the insects.